Hi there, my name's Mrs Roberts. I'm Assistant Head and Senko at St Peter's Junior School, and I wanted to take this opportunity to welcome you and to give you a little bit of a guided tour. I can't promise I'll show you everything in this tour, but I'm going to try and do my best. We'll have a look at the hall, the classrooms and some of the outside space, so that when you do come in September, parts of it are nice and familiar, and you'll already have a familiar face because you'll know me, Mrs Roberts, and I will really look forward to welcoming you. Should we go and take a look round then? Follow me. Okay, so now you're joining me in our school hall. As you can see, we're really lucky. We've got a nice big school hall, plenty of space. We use our school hall mainly for assemblies and also for indoor PE. During the year we usually have some performances. Our year 4s will usually work to do a show at Christmas time, and our year 6s will usually do a show during the summer term, which you would get to watch as well. So I'm going to give you a quick spin. Here is our stage. You can see the blue curtains. The curtains draw back and there is a projector behind there so that the staff can show you different slides and things as they deliver their assemblies. We have assemblies every day. We do a celebration assembly, we do a singing assembly. There's usually one that staff deliver. Mr Bradley will deliver an assembly. So we usually have one every day. Should we move on? Let's go and have a look now at our year 3 classrooms. Now you join me in 3D. So this is Mrs Deacon's classroom. As you can see, you've got the screen on the wall and all the children all face the screen, and then over this way you've got your cloakroom and you've got the door that you use to exit onto the playground. In the classrooms you'll have your own trays, and in the cloakroom is where you can keep your coats and your PE kits. Should we go and have a look at 3B and 3H? So now children, you join me in 3H. This is Mrs Horton's classroom. Very similar really to 3D. She's got her board on the wall there, all her resources at the front of the classroom, plenty of seating space, and at the back there we've got a door, and again that's the door that you can lead out onto the playground and enter in through in the mornings. Let's go and check out 3B. Just before we get into 3B, in between the classrooms of 3H and 3B is where we have our library. So we've got lots and lots of books. This is where you'll come to change your books, ready to take them home with you. I've got sidetracked again. We're not quite in 3B yet, but that's next on my list. Also in the year 3 area downstairs, we've got what we call the den. The den's a really special room in our school because that's where we get to do some nurture. It's where you get to work with Mrs McBrain, who's one of our lovely teaching assistants, and other members of staff in here. It's an opportunity to develop some skills like communicating with each other and to build up our confidence. So some of you will get to access the den. We've got a nice cosy area with seats and beanbags. We've got a kitchen, so that quite often we'll do a snack time in the den, and that's an opportunity to talk and share food with each other. We like to call this a little bit of our home from home. Nice and cosy, lots of nice games to play. So some of you will get to spend some time in here with Mrs McBrain. Now let's definitely go to 3B. So this is Miss Bird Murray's class, 3B. It's really similar to all the other ones. All our year 3 classrooms have got access to a sink with some water. Miss Bird Murray's doesn't have a door linked to it that takes you outside, so you just go outside the door on the corridor. And the toilets, there are toilets based in year 3 for our boys and our girls. So once you leave the year 3 area and walk along the corridor, you head towards our dining hall and to the hall that I showed you just before. Just outside the big hall is our ICT suite. This is where you come to do your computing lessons. We have enough space for everybody to have a computer and a big screen at the front for your teacher to show you what needs to be happening. If I walk through the computers, then I come to this corridor. This corridor is where we find the staff room, Mr. Bradley's office and a workspace for our teachers. Facing the hall is this big long corridor. This big long corridor takes us to the school reception and it leads us to the other classrooms. Let's go and have a look. Here's our school reception. This is where people who are visiting school would come through. This is where you might be directed to if you arrive late or if you're getting picked up for an appointment or something. Here is our office, and usually we'd have lots of our lovely office staff working here to help you out. We've carried along the corridor just past the office, and along this corridor we've got 3 more classrooms. They're all similar size, just like the year 3 classrooms. They've got a big screen at the front where your teacher can show you your learning, and lots of tables and resources ready. Just past the 3 classrooms we have got the boys and girls toilets. These are the toilets that are usually used at lunchtime, and they're usually used by our older children, but anybody is welcome to use them at lunchtime. We've got one side with green doors and we've got one side with purple doors. The purple doors are for our boys and the green doors are for our girls. Lots of hand washing sinks and places to dry your hands. Also in this area opposite it, we've got lots of these cubby holes. As you move through school, not in year 3 but for the rest of school, we have lots of these cubby holes, and this is where children keep their belongings. So this is where they would hang their coat, put their PE kit, their lunch bags. So they're all nice and out the way and tidy, and they're in rows, so you'd have your name that shows exactly which one you would have. So continuing with our tour, what you'll notice about our school is that we're on 2 stories. So we've got a downstairs and an upstairs. That's quite unusual really for a junior school, but because our school used to be a secondary school a long time ago, it means that we've got loads of room, lots of outdoor space, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So if you come upstairs, we've got 6 more classrooms, and this is where our older children work. So you might not come up here very often. I'll show you a couple of their classrooms. Here's an example of one of our upstairs classrooms. Like I say, we've got 6 classrooms upstairs. They're all very similar and they look quite a lot like the ones downstairs as well. So let's go downstairs, because now I'm going to show you all the lovely outdoor space we have. Let's go. So, as some of you will already know if you've got brothers and sisters here, we're really lucky because we've got loads of outdoor space here at St Peter's. Behind me is just one example. This is just outside the year 3 classrooms. There's a basketball net, there's a climbing wall, there's a table tennis table, there's loads to see. Let's keep going and see what else we've got outside. So behind me you can hopefully see our trim trail, and over in the distance, can't see it too well, but we've also got a wooden climbing frame. There's a sand pit in this area as well, and if I walk just over here, we've got a really nice shaded part that's used as an outdoor classroom. So on days when we've got really nice weather, you might come out here to do some of your learning. We also have a really big playground. Right towards the top there, we've got lots of basketball courts. We call that the mugger. So usually basketball is played that end. We'll have some football and other ball games down here. And the basketball games and football games are usually on a rota. So you might not be playing those every single day or every single break time, but you will get an opportunity to. So behind me is our field, and we use our field a lot in summer and in nice weather, less so in the winter or if it's been very wet, because it does get rather sludgy and not very easy to play or walk on. But we like to use our field for lots of football competitions, playing outside. We've got lots of woodland as well, which we use to have campfires. We do campovers. We have, if you can see here, a pavilion. The pavilion can be used for some quiet reading during lunch times when it's open, or if you just want a little bit of shade in hot weather. And around our pavilion we've got lots of little allotments, and if you are a keen gardener then you can have an allotment. You can plant your own flowers or herbs or vegetables in your allotment and add some nice details or little ornaments, and it's yours to look after. We've got more nice shaded seating areas with little pathways running through. Again, these are nice for friends to congregate in or to sit and have a little bit of quiet space. So another area I'm going to show you is our base camp. Base camp is like an outdoor classroom really. It's separate to the rest of school, but it's just next door to it. And in there we have tables and chairs set up for some extra space, so that if you're doing some learning outside, you've still got an area that you can use. And so the final part of the outdoor space that I want to show you is our driveway and pathway to school. So when you come in through our main gates, you walk along the pathway behind me, and that takes you round onto our playground. Make sure you stick to the path, don't go on the driveway, because that's where a lot of the teachers and the teaching assistants and Mr. Bradley park their car, so it's not always very safe to walk along there. We don't mind if you want to come to school on scooters, but we ask that when you enter the gates and you come along this path that you walk with your scooter and you don't ride on it. So that's all of our outdoor space, and let's see if there's anything else to see inside. Children, this is our dining room. This is where you'll come to have your hot dinners or your packed lunch every day. If you're a dinner, then you take a tray and you would go up to the counter behind me, and you'll be asked what you would like to eat, and it will be served to you to come and sit down at a table with your friends to enjoy it. If you're coming to breakfast or after school club, that also takes place in our dining room, and it's called Casper's. Behind me is one room that all our children quite like seeing, because it looks like the TARDIS out of Doctor Who. And who hides behind the TARDIS? It's Mr. Farrell, our site manager. I've got two more places that I want to show you before we finish our tour. Shh, I've snuck into Mr. Bradley's office while he's not looking. Don't tell him, will you? Hopefully, if you come to Mr. Bradley's office, it's because you've done something really brilliant and we want to celebrate your success and show Mr. Bradley your lovely work. Just next door to Mr. Bradley's room is Mrs. Alcock's room. Mrs. Alcock is another of our lovely TAs, and she does a lot of nurture work. So if you're feeling worried about anything or you need somebody to talk to, Mrs. Alcock is your lady. She's lovely, and lots of our children like to come and confide in her if they've got anything that they want to talk about. That's the last space really in school that I want to show you. That's the end of our virtual tour for now, but we really look forward to welcoming you so that you can have a good look around yourself. If you've got any questions that you want to ask, please feel free to get in touch and send us a message, and we will do our best to answer them. See you soon. Have a great summer. Bye.